Well, hey guys, look what we got ourselves here. Thanks to Dishmen, I got me a Paul's kind of truck. This is a tradesman. No, I did not buy this vehicle. They're letting me borrow this vehicle for the day while they're working on my personal limited. I made a video about how the transmission is doing all kinds of weird stuff. So they're working on it today, trying to square it away. But my goodness, I absolutely love this truck. Yes, the paint is nice. The paint is really nice, but that is not why I love this truck. This is a Paul kind of truck. Let me show you the paint. Shoot, the video doesn't do it justice. It's like a darker blue, as you can tell in the video, but it has heavy metallic, which looks really nice when the sun hits it. So for a typical tradesman, these are the things that stand out to me. This is the truck that would challenge me. Do I buy one of these or do I buy a limited? That's how practical this truck is set up. Has the camera, must have the cargo camera. Fifth wheel prep package is very functional, it's useful, but I'm a BMW dealer, and that's not why I prefer the BMW. I just feel like the BMW is a better fit for what I do. So, saying that, I don't pull fifth wheels. I pull strictly goosenecks, and those gooseneck ball hitches sit in there a lot firmer, and they're just for me more convenient to use. And obviously the hooks are like right next to each other rather than this kit's way. I don't like this. Personal preference, not a issue with the setup. It's just personal preference. So with that in mind, I'm gonna go inside and show you a little bit around here and why. Now keep in mind, I use a lot of these units, and Tradesman is my number one truck I go to as far as trim. But why I would choose this one, why this one would challenge my limited, yes, you're hearing me right. I'm all about practicality. But Paul, how can you put tradesman and then limited? Well, I'm telling you to go one way or another way. But why all the way to tradesman? You've said in a few of your videos you would go bighorn. Now, the reason for that is bighorn gets these panels. These are soft to the touch. I have an issue with my elbow. You can call me spoiled or whatever. My elbow gets irritated when I rest my arm here. For a typical door panel of tradesmen, it's hard plastic. This is soft to the touch. This is rugged plastic. I call it plastic, vinyl, whatever you want to call it. It's not leather, but it's soft to the touch. For a working man, this is a very nice panel. Soft here, you know. This is a little softer. This is where your arm is gonna rest most of the time. Sometimes here, tradesmen, still hard plastic. That annoys me. Power folding mirrors, very important. Tight spots, whatever the case may be, pulling out of the shop, believe me, guys. Number one place these things get taken out is pulling out of garages and shops. Now, the adjustable power dead spot mirror is what I would call it. You know, the convenience mirror, whatever you want to call it. The dead zone mirror, very, very important, especially on that side. If you don't have a passenger and going down the road, you just need to, you know, just adjust the hair. You gotta park and get your booty out and readjust it. Here you can just hit the button and hit this button and go to town. Very useful. This is not standard for tradesmen. Must have. This is not standard for tradesmen. Must have. You guys getting the drift here? Very practical truck. Whoever set this truck up knew exactly what they're doing. Now, that thing right there looks gimmicky. Well, it can't really be turned on for some weird reason. That right there, see? On and off. Now it's on. Looks gimmicky here. This is a life savior. When you're backing up a trailer, it's a mini spotlight and it goes fairly wide back there. Must have. Absolutely must have. Heated mirrors. Blind spot. Perfect setup. That's why I'm telling you that $2,500 setup is a perfect one. End of this video, I'm going to answer why I don't pick up this truck for my fleet. Paul, you're so finessed, or you're so excited about it. Why don't you just buy it? We'll answer that question later. I am helping you guys that are out there shopping from my experience, from my point of view as a guy that's using it, what actually means something, what's actually functional, what's actually helpful. The fact that this thing doesn't have auxiliary switches doesn't bother me. I much rather have a I think it's called CTS Edge monitor. You can watch your turbo vanes, you can watch a lot of stuff, and in there you could hook up auxiliaries. We'll talk about that later. Something you guys are probably going to ask, well, what about the auxiliary switches? I don't really care for them. just personal preference. I could see how someone could use them if they don't care about the state of their engine, transmission, and all that. I like to get into a lot of detail, so that monitor is much better for someone. And then that monitor, they could actually hook up auxiliaries. But as far as practical, this is upgraded. Okay, nice little sunglass holder. Who cares about that? But it's nice. It's there, right? This is also nice. Someone put money. They upgraded the screen. I mean, as I showed you the camera, very nice. Side mirrors, trailer. This is nice. Very responsive, practical. So if you're going to be speccing out a truck, I advise you to get this 8.4 screen. Very practical. Thank you, Ram. For 2020, you got your layouts right. Let's start from the beginning. My 19 Limited doesn't even have it right. Look, tire pressure, right? It's like order of relevance, if I could call it that. It makes sense. Then you have your coolant temp. Oh, all of a sudden it'll tell you your trans temp, and then your oil pressure. You're going to say, Paul, what's the big deal? Well, I'm going to tell you what's the big deal. On the 19, it just jumps the heck around. Like, you'll have tire pressure, oil pressure, turbo boost. Like, it's all over the place. Ram, if you could release an update so we get those in line, I'd really appreciate it. Well, look at this. So back to the beginning. We got tire pressure. You know, this is all proper. Exhaust brake. Well, you got pressure to slow you down, and then you got pressure to speed you up. This is proper. You know, DPF. This is all order. Thank you. You have no idea how happy I am that you guys finally got that in order. Simple things go a long way, guys. Yes, this truck has an Aisin. So, things I'm looking for, things I would advise you guys to really look into are the functional things. A lot of times these trucks get spec'd weirdly, and oddly enough, this thing doesn't have anything that would waste your money, but sometimes they'll add something that you don't care about, and that's what I'm underlining. Everything that was added here is very practical. It's very useful. You know, they spent a little bit of money on an inverter. It'll keep your laptop going, and that's all you pretty much got in here, really. You got all these fancy gadgets you need nowadays. It's all USB. You got a little bit of USB in there, and they only left you one cigarette lighter, is the way I call it. There you have it, you know. So very nice truck. Thank you, Dishmen, for letting me borrow this thing. You guys know what you're doing. You probably want me to buy this thing, and that's what you're in the business for. I very much like it, and here's my answer to you all, not just Dishmen, the guys watching. Why aren't you buying this truck? Guys, it's about timing. Right now is not a good time for me to buy. I'm not far away from buying for the time to come for me to buy a couple more of these units, but it's not right now. I gotta hold off a little bit longer, and then we'll get back to shopping. But for you boys out there in the market, I showed you underlying important things, and something that I would very much be looking for if I were to daily this thing. A lot of you guys are a one-man show, and this is the perfect working hard truck. I mean, you got your manual. I like it. I like this a lot. You can feel it going in, and the automatic ones never failed me because I know how to use them, but I have a driver that just grenaded the front axle activation port, actuator, and the gear on the axle. Well, I might make a video about that later, how to properly do it. The guy just didn't know, you know. Just got to stop all the wheels spinning when you're engaging them. But anyways, floor mats, very useful. The must-have up front. On the back, I think, yeah, it's a package deal. This is a factory Ram thing, so they would have them in the back. Yep. Up front, it's a must. I don't buy rear ones for mine because I buy WeatherTech, but if I were to have them, why not? I have this style in my Limited. It came from one of my tradesmen's. As you could tell, the bulge there, mine's cut out, and my Limited is flat there because it has a little bit more going on there. But yeah, guys, all in all, this is the perfect work truck. That's what I would call it. Yes, the mud flaps aren't original and the steps aren't, but everything else is. And obviously, this light is just... It looks gimmicky, but believe me, once you hit that switch at night and you're backing up somewhere, oh, you're going to love it. This bed has LED lighting. That's a must too. I might as well show it to you. Just want to underline it's Aisin. I don't see anything different for the 2020s under here, but they're all minute changes usually, and they never really talk about them. So unless you find them, you aren't really gonna know. That's weird. They have a box in here as if they had auxiliary switches, but they don't. I bet you this is an additional box for all the accessories, or should I say all the additional stuff. Screen or LED lighting. As I said, I underlined the stuff that doesn't come standard. See that LED lighting in the bed? That's really nice. Bed lined as well, but bed liner you could always add. When you start adding like weird stuff like that, or the screen, it gets weird. Anyways, guys, practical stuff, check mark all around. I mean, someone really did a good job setting up this tradesman. As I said, I would have a hard time debating this way or that way, because functionality wise, it has it all. Practical, functional, took care of all the stuff that irritated me in a tradesman. You know, the door panels and the material of the seats. They changed them for 20, or actually they changed them in 19 if I'm not mistaken. So that got taken care of 19, but the door panels, I'm pretty sure 2020 with solid plastic door panels are still there, but this has a $2,500 upgrade, the preferred 21A package, the customer preferred. So yeah, let me start this thing so it doesn't go dead on us. As you can tell, it's a brand new truck, 33 miles on her. Anyways, boys, may the Lord bless you. May Almighty find day, and check out Dishmen Dodge. I showed you the license plate. They're out of Spokane, and talk to my guy Sean, and he'll help you out. On a flip side, if I were to buy a truck like this for myself, what would I change? This should probably be part of another video, but if I tell you guys I would do a video, it's going to be tough for me to do. While I'm in this truck, it's best for me to talk about it now. What would I do? This is an awesome working truck. It's functional. Everything's good. By the way, thank you, Ram. Once again, thank you for doing your layouts right. This is important. It gets annoying when you got to jump around a lot. I would change the steering wheel. Funny, I know. Get a Lamier limited steering wheel. And that, my friend, is about it. I see more speakers. I think it's with that. I'm not positive, but I think it's with the bigger screen. You get a little bit more speakers, not just down in the door panels. I think that's about it, man. This truck feels lighter. I honestly feel the what's this thing called? The sunroof gone. You don't have that high weight feeling. But other than that, man, this truck's nice. And Ram got there's a different transmission tune in it. If you guys could get that in mind, I'll be super happy. I wish I could hook up a gooseneck. I have all the equipment, you know. I can go drop a ball. I got a spare kit where I could just throw on hollow gooseneck. But this is a brand new truck. It's not proper for mileage, and it's not proper for towing with a truck that someone lets you borrow. So on that aspect, I'll never be able to tow with this truck unless I buy it. But man, I am super... I feel like I annoyed you guys, but I'm really happy with this spec. I know this whole specification and trim level comes a lot in automobiles, trucks. There's less to choose from, but a lot of times you don't know what you pick. And this is definitely a solid workman's truck. I mean, what more can you ask for? The Limited won't even give you a massaging seat. I mean, what more can you ask? You want leather? I guess you could have leather, but I'm not a big fan of leather, but when I do get leather, I'm very picky about it. So that's why I end up with the Limited. Probably my main reason why I end up with the Limited, because their Longhorn leather is just as good as the Limited, but it's brown. I think I'll get tired of brown. People tell me once I get older I won't get tired of it, but for now, I mean, let's live now, plan for the future kind of deal. But until then, you gotta enjoy life, right? It is a 3500. It does ride a little rough, but compared to the 4 Gen, I'm gonna repeat myself, it does ride softer. Anyways, boys, I'm gonna wrap up this video. Hopefully my Ram's gonna get fixed, and now I'm not keeping this truck. I'm just gonna drive for half a day, or maybe a whole day, whole business day, and call it a day. There's a whole lot of day in one day, you know what I'm saying? As always, may the Lord bless you. May Almighty find day. Ciao, bye.